Live already. Greetings, my friends. Welcome to this edition of Marshall Sylver Live. I'm extremely excited to have our guest here in Sterling Worldwide at Studio Money, our virtual studio here at Studio Money. Joseph Shalaby is the owner of Mortgage Capital Company. It is the largest mortgage company in California. It is one of the top 5 nationwide. It's a remarkable business that he does. More than that, though, he's a remarkable human being. And it's a great opportunity to get to know him both on a business level and a corporate level, but also on a personal level here in the studio. Without any further ado, big round of applause virtually for my guest, Joseph. Welcome.
Hey, thanks, Marshall. It's been such an honor to meet you, such an honor to hang out with you, and just so enlightening.
We're having fun. Your name's Shalaby. We were just talking about it before we went live. You're Egyptian.
Yep.
Is Shalaby a common surname in Egypt?
It is not common. There's, the most common name would be Girgis, which is George. It's just like the patron Saint George. But yeah, Shalaby. It's not. It's when I meet a Shalaby, another Coptic Shalaby, I'm like, "Are you a cousin?" So it's not that common of an Egyptian last name. But it is. There is a movie. We got a movie on Netflix.
What's it called?
Shalaby.
Yeah. Imagine that. They're up for hours coming up with that name. So tell me about your business. Tell me about Mortgage Capital.
So Mortgage Capital is a national mortgage company. We are a mortgage banker and a mortgage broker. And
what's the difference?
So a broker gives you the option of sending it to hundreds of different lenders. So we could do everything from commercial to construction to private money to hard money. And then we're also a banker. So we actually write the notes in our name and we sell it off on the secondary market. And those we just do the normal loans, conventional FHA, VA, the regular cookie cutter. We call it cookie cutter loans. But the beauty of our model is that we could basically do every sort of loan product in existence. So if you want a line of credit, you want to buy this building, you want, to buy some land, you want, something out of the box, we have a solution for it. You don't have any money on paper, or you're a foreign national coming in without any taxable income in the US, or whatever the case is, we have a solution for anything that's basically asset backed. So if there's real property, we can lend on it.
What makes you unique?
What makes eMortgage Capital unique is the fact that we are in the business of creating mortgage businesses. So a layman can come to us, or a broker owner, or a general entrepreneur, and say, I want to start a mortgage company. And we give them the complete end-to-end ecosystem, and not just like, hey, we'll just give you a platform. We help with every variable from HR to IT to marketing to lead gen to data solutions to technology to the automation to the training to the coaching. So it's literally an end-to-end solution. Out of the box is not sufficient to really describe it. It's like end-to-end. And we continue to just scale the company. So our model is different in the sense that we will invest everything we have, because money is not the issue for us. We want to just continue to gain market share and provide wealth to the people. Like, we don't care about wealth for us. And as a byproduct of our servitude to the people, we are able to attain great success, and we just continue to roll it back in because, me and my business partner, we just grew up with humble roots. We were lucky to ride the 2021 wave. So we just decided let's just keep rolling it into the organization, keep scaling our platform, keep gaining market share.
How did you grow so fast?
We live by servitude. So our number one pillar for the organization is service. We serve one another. We serve our vendor partners, each other, our partners, our loan officers. And because of that, everyone knows. Like, if you go on Reddit, which is an organic platform where people can speak about, you can't pay for anything. We are the most highly reviewed company. But someone was telling me they went on Reddit. That was the other day, and they were like, I was just reading about you on Reddit, and everybody raves about you guys on Reddit. And I'm like, wow, it's good to know that, people talk about us organically on these blog platforms, how genuine the leadership is, how engaged we are in helping them and making sure they're successful. And people don't understand, like, why don't they want more from us? Like, why are you so genuinely interested in our success? And I think that level of authenticity just doesn't resonate with people. It's not normal to people to experience that from leadership. So, you know, that grew up in a very godly household, and grew up in as an immigrant who fled from their country because of religious persecution. And my business
So
partner.
were you born in the States or were you born
No,
in
no, I was
Egypt?
born in Egypt. So
Cool.
I'm a full-blown Egyptian immigrant.
How do you
Came
walk?
like this, of
Okay.
course,
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I'm a descendant of the pharaohs. Actually, the Coptic people, we are direct descendants of the pharaohs.
Very cool.
So that's what Coptic means, is Egyptian. The translation is
And you showed
Egyptian.
me your tattoo.
Yeah,
And so is that a requirement?
Um, sort of. So in Egypt, you're admitted into church basically with that cross, because they can't distinguish if you're Christian or if you're Muslim. And if you're Muslim, you're coming to the church, you're probably coming to bomb it. So they're like,
Can we be brutally honest here?
so they have some security to make sure that you're Coptic, and because a Muslim's not gonna. I mean, no,
They're not going to put a tattoo on
they're
there.
not gonna put a tattoo on there. So
Certainly not of a cross.
yeah. So, and in this area, which is very painful to put a
Right.
tattoo, very, very painful. I mean, I remember the pain, and
Is that the only tattoo you have?
only tattoo I have.
Maybe they're all painful.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, you're right.
You don't know.
Well, this is done in a monastery with very archaic utensils, with
Talking about a hammer and a nail.
Yeah.
They dip it in the ink and whack you again.
Yeah,
Right beside the vein, by the way. I
yeah,
noticed.
it was excruciating. You do it as a child, so you're not even used to pain as a kid.
So it's the Egyptian form of circumcision.
It basically is. Yeah, it's a rite of passage.
Well, good thing they're not tattooing
Yeah.
elsewhere. But so back to how you grew so quick. How many loan officers
We have
are under your umbrella?
So we have 850 loan officers, but we actively cut about 150 a quarter. And the reason why we're so involved in terminating loan officers is because we want loan officers who are all in and are committed to the industry, and are committed to growing, and are committed to our ecosystem, and utilizing the resources we have, because we have our competitors who, we got competitors who have 3 times as many loan officers as us, but they do a third of the business because they make their money on the loan officers, charging them for this or that, like we invest in our loan officers. So we need to make sure they're producing. So we can proudly say we have the highest funding per loan officer count of the mega companies.
So is your model for the mortgage industry similar to what our friends Sam and Oliver over at Big Block do for realtors?
It is. It is actually very similar. The difference with Sam and Oliver's platform is we're just a little bit more involved with lead gen and marketing and technology. What Real and Big Block are doing is providing a cheap solution for people to do it, and it's great because there's not a lot of involvement. They just create a model,
Right.
and it's a recruiting model with like an MLM platform. And if they did what we did, they wouldn't make much money, because number one, realtors don't do a lot of business.
Right.
Everybody knows a realtor. So what we do is we want to help. We're like a hedge fund for a loan officer. We're like going to just give you millions of dollars worth of resources. Like, now you need to figure out, Mr. Entrepreneur, that you just came into our platform, what to do with all these resources. And if you don't know what to do with them, you got to go. If you don't know what to do with the, $5 million I just put behind you, this is not for you. Go get another job. And that's just the ideology, because we're going to continue. If 5 million is not enough, there's a couple more million coming next month. You need to figure out how to leverage what we're giving you. And a lot of people have a hard time, leveraging and or utilizing it. And it's sometimes a lot of people are like, this is just too much. This is overwhelming. Like, all these resources, I'm used to nothing, So, so the people that can leverage the resources we give them find a lot of success. I mean, I got 25-year-old kids making $1 million a month, but they know how to leverage technology and marketing and data, and they understand.
And that was going to be my next question. You're the largest mortgage company in California by volume.
Right.
You get rid of 150 LOs, loan officers,
a quarter,
every quarter.
Yeah.
Is that part of what makes makes people produce. You say, look, we're going to get rid of the lowest 150 producing LOs we've got because we want you producing.
Yeah. And it's a tough
So is it carrot and
conversation.
stick? Is that what that?
Church that I go to, they're like, dude, they terminated me. I'm like, listen, what else? You have another job. Like, you don't even do this. Like,
Right.
this is like, we can't keep
Wait,
you
we
on.
don't terminate producers.
Yeah.
No
Like,
producer got terminated. Let
yeah.
that be your clue.
Yeah. So,
But I would agree with you that 95% of all realtors don't do any business.
yeah, they don't do any
They don't
business.
do any. They've got a business card, they've got a shingle hanging on the side of a building, maybe they got a desk in an office, and they don't do any business. And in my career as a trainer and a teacher and a coach, I started off in real estate, and we still teach a lot of people inside of real estate. And whenever I work with somebody inside of mortgages, whether it's a broker or whether it's a loan officer, and they say, I'd like more business, my response is always the same. Well, then help your realtors sell more houses. That's how you'll have more business. Guaranteed. You, you want to know how to sell more realtors, you can sell realtors all day long. If they're not doing business, you don't have any business. Help them houses.
That's and fact. Our loan officers help their realtor partners.
Yes.
But I look at marketing like a table. Real and their real estate partners are one table. But if they want true success, they have to media. You have to have your personal brand. You have to be buying data. You have to be, marketing to your church members. You have to be networking at networking events, because everything is just adding more legs on your table. So one of the things I preach continually, it's like, if you want success, you can't just do one thing. There is no magic bullet. Like, I've been on the quest for the search of the magic bullet, but you can create a magic bullet by adding many layers to that bullet. Like, you need 10 bullets to create a magic bullet. You can't there's no one magic bullet. There's 20 bullets is better than 10. So
Yes.
just keep adding and adding and adding. And people are like, well, why did you grow so fast? You asked me that. Because I'm everywhere all the time, all at once. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Snapchat, Twitter, X. I'm on, platforms like Reddit. I'm on the old platforms like MSN and Yahoo, and then
You're
on the
on
new.
Marshall Sylver Live.
I'm on Marshall Sylver Live. I'm podcasting. And then I create entertainment content. Then I create, I got the Funny Joe social media guy, and then I got like my thought leadership podcast. So I'm trying to hit every vertical to get to as large of an audience as possible. And then I do my, because I'm a marketing guy, then I do my text blast, my email blast, my voice message blast, so then I got that vertical, then I got my social vertical, then I got my email vertical, then, then I got, we also blog. I take my podcast, we'll create descript it, then we'll post it on all blog platforms. So, the reality is rising tides lift all ships, right? So if your efforts are they're just amalgamating, and that's why we're able to grow so fast, because people know I'm everywhere. So they're going to join us just because they're seeing me everywhere on all the platforms. And then I'm running paid ads.
Yeah. It's end of January 2025. We've had devastating fires going on in LA, unprecedented, worst fire tragedy in the history of the United States. How's that going to impact the market?
Great question. And I've actually asked my insurance agents about this, because I am terrified to what insurance rates are what's going to happen to insurance rates. Not only that, but you've already seen insurance companies pulling out of California. So a lot of houses is in many parts of LA, many little sectors, like obviously you can't insure the Palisades. You can't insure, they're going to buy them cash. Why are they going to buy cash in Malibu when it's just such a high, the probability of their house burning is very high now. So we don't know what's going to happen, but what I could tell you is going to happen is insurance policies will double or triple over the next couple of years nationwide. That's going to impact the world, right? That's going to impact, obviously, the United States. It's going to impact the affordability for homeowners. Obviously, I think Trump's going to impose something on insurance carriers to make sure that they just don't gouge.
To cap them out, yeah.
Price gouging is already happening right now.
Yeah.
You're seeing, legislation happening because homeowners outside of the LA area are already charging 3-4x normal rent prices. So you're seeing 3-4 bedroom houses renting to Palisades unfortunate Palisades victims for like 40 grand a month.
Mhm.
That is just that should not. I mean, those people should go to jail.
Yeah.
Like that should be beyond illegal. And it's just really it's devastating to see that, that people are taking that advantage. Like, oh, the insurance companies are going to pay for it. Like, no, they're not. Insurance companies are trying to backpedal out of all this
Right.
stuff. They're going to just point the finger. And then, by the way, the insurance companies have a carve out for arsonists. Guess what? This was arson,
Right.
supposedly, or they're going to say
They're
this
going to
was
say it is
arson.
and not pay.
Yeah. So we don't know what's going to happen with all this devastation. I hope to God that there's some normalization.
What do you think about, obviously, yes, there's all sorts of complications. They pull out the insurance. These houses burn down. Yeah, the land has some value, but nobody can touch the value till cleanup occurs. The mayor of LA is saying, Bass is saying it's going to be 18 months. Trump is saying, no, it can be a week. What do you think? We got a lot of people going to be leaving California. Every time there's an earthquake, every time there's any kind of disaster in California, massive amounts of people go to Texas, they go to Nevada, they go to Florida.
Actually, they're not going there anymore. They're going to Alabama. They're going to North Dakota because Florida and Texas are no longer affordable, nor is Nevada. The states that are booming are like Alabama. The Dakotas are booming.
Yeah.
All the states Missouri, number one state. So the states that you never thought of going to, those are the ones that they're going to because they could actually live there. They
Right.
could get a nice house. They could, go to nice dinners. They could live.
Cost of living is reasonable.
Cost of living is reasonable.
So do you think that the people, there's going to be an exodus, because there always is, and not only usually there is, but there is going to be now because they can't build fast enough to go back into their house there? Do you think that the property values in Malibu, with the challenge of the fires coming back, they can't get them insured, if they rebuild anything? Grant was showing that on Carbon Beach, where his house is, all the other houses are burned to the ground. His house didn't, because it's largely made of concrete. And so his house didn't burn down.
His house in Malibu?
Yeah, he's got a house in Malibu. One of the most expensive pieces of real estate in Malibu didn't burn down because it's made of concrete. Do you think...
I can't believe they let him build it all in concrete.
He didn't build it. He bought it. So the question I have, though, is, do you think those pieces of property are going to just get swept up by a BlackRock or a State Street or one of those buyers, because it's going to take a while to redevelop them? Or do you think a percentage of those homeowners are just going to rebuild their property and stay there?
Those people who lost their houses are incredibly wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
They're incredibly wealthy. So they're, we talk about, these people and
certainly Palisades in Malibu, they are.
Yeah. And those are the people most affected. So and I've talked to people in the Palisades in Malibu, and, you're like, oh, these people are suffering. Like, well, what did they do? No, what I've heard that they've done is they go to their other home, or they have renters in one of their other properties. And sadly, they're like, they're giving 30-day notices to their renters to get out quickly.
Yep.
And they'll probably rebuild because they can, because those are the people that have the ability, the financial means to do so. Like, if Grant Cardone's house burned, he would just build another one.
Right. He would just stay in Florida.
He would stay in Florida.
Right. Same thing with us. We've got a beach house here, but we live in Las Vegas. So yeah, I understand that. And if you go down to any of the beach homes in Southern California, especially, in any given day, only homes are vacation homes for people that live somewhere else. Back to it, though. What are you seeing right now, this day, inside the real estate world? Are we seeing more transactions, less transactions? Are people confident now that Trump's back in the White House that the economy is going to return to a good state, or are people still frightened?
So we are seeing consumer confidence in real estate pick up. We're seeing housing applications have skyrocketed since Trump came in office, just because consumer confidence has really risen. Rates are basically, we're seeing rates are high right now. They're at 7% average rate to buy a house. And there's not a lot of housing. There just isn't. And that's what Trump is trying to solve for, is how does Trump solve for a lack of housing if he wants to drop interest rates, which he's proposing to do?
Mhm.
He's proposing to bring rates back down to 3%. Yet there isn't enough housing to support, because if there's 3% interest rates, there's going to be an absolute frenzy to buy properties,
Mhm.
which is going to drive properties up. So he's trying to impose laws to bring cost of building down to and basically go to government protected areas that they weren't allowed to build because we got hundreds of millions of acres of government protected land that they could build on, which should help create more housing. And that could be somewhat of a solution. But if rates are 3%, housing is going to double and it's going to destroy affordability. It just is. I don't, even if there was enough housing, because they can't build fast enough. They just can't. It's impossible. You have to lift all the guidelines from the cities, because the cities make it so hard to build.
Right.
I've been working on an addition for 18 months because every little thing, it's like,
What
oh,
city are you in?
Newport Beach.
Yep. Are you coastal?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why. The Coastal Commission comes in and says you can't do anything here.
Well, Coastal Commission is right on the water. I'm like not on the water. Coastal Commission would even make it
Yeah, I've had to
worse.
deal with the Coastal Commission down here.
Yeah, they even make it worse. So there has to be and I don't even know how fast you could even impose this sort of legislation, but there's a lot of work to be done to unwind a lot of the stuff that's happened. There's just so much work, and I don't know how it could be done.
Well, and
A
that's
lot.
part of, what Trump is promising and what he believes in is less regulation,
Yeah,
less
unwinding a lot of these, because you think about all these regulators. A lot of them do the same thing. I'm in the mortgage industry. We have like 40 regulators. We have every state regulates us. So that's 46 states that we're in, 47 states that we're in. Then we have all these extra states where CFPB and then the NMLS and then every governing agency and then the Department of Justice, and they all just do the same thing. They all just do the same thing. Thank God Elon Musk wants to unwind the CFPB.
Yep.
So we have things, entrepreneurs who understand that these regulators all do the same thing. You just need one of them. You don't
Yep.
need 47 of them.
Yep.
So all this
Get
extra
velocity moving.
yeah,
Let's get it
all this
moving.
extra legislation that's imposed to basically hinder businesses and hinder growth and hinder builders and increase building costs and increase the cost to build. And we're in a clusterfuck. I mean, it's a
So, let's say I've got a massive amount of cash to invest. I live in California. I've got cash, not sure what I wanna do, if I wanna stay here or not. Where do I invest that money? Do I buy houses in Alabama because everybody is moving to Alabama, or do I buy the land in California because eventually they're gonna come back?
No, honestly, because I'm a part of multifamily investment groups, like who the most brilliant minds in the world are in. You got Alex Ramosi in the same group I'm in, Sharon Srivatsa. Nobody is investing, unfortunately, in California. The multifamily projects, and if you have a lump sum of cash, you want a guaranteed return. It's multifamily, and it's in like Georgia, it's in Alabama, it's in Tennessee. It's not in California. It'd be crazy. California's for your house. That's where you want to live. That's not
Yeah.
where you want to invest. You could maybe find a steal here and there on auction.com or something,
Mhm.
foreclosure.com. But that's a business by itself, and that's a difficult thing to accomplish. But multifamily out of state that's where you would want to park cash, because you're going to be guaranteed some sort of a return, and that's where all the demand is. That's where Tesla's building. That's where Amazon's building. That's where everyone's moving. That's where all these California people are going.
Yep, no doubt. What do, we're talking about loan officers. You said you've got some loan officers doing $1 million a month, and I wanna clarify, did you mean they're earning $1 million a month?
Yeah,
Or
then they got a lot of overhead on top of that.
got it, but
yeah.
you're not talking about the volume that they're doing.
No volume. They're probably doing, $20-30 million, $50 million a month in volume.
So let's talk about that, because some of the people watching my program are entrepreneurs and people looking for opportunities. Do you think with rates, because the rates are going to come down under Trump? There's no way around
By the
that.
way, let's talk about rates. It's not rates aren't our responsibility, because money's going to move
Right.
at 7% and money's going to move at 2%. We as loan officers, all we are is ambassadors of money. We just sell money. Like whether we're selling money at 2 or 5 or 20, it doesn't matter to us as the loan officer. I love high rates because it shakes out all the weak. They're like, they forgot what they do. You sell money.
Mhm.
Like, so rates at 2 or 5 or 7 doesn't, like, what, money's going to stop moving now
Right.
because rates are 8%? It's not.
So do you see the same amount of transactions, not volume? Do you see the same amount of transactions regardless of what the interest rate is?
No, you're going to see a lot, because what's happening right now with high interest rates is the people that own their houses, that bought houses in 2020, 2021, they're not selling. Like, why would you sell? Your rate is below free money because
Right.
you're getting 5% on your savings account. So if you got an interest rate at 3%, that means you're getting paid 2% to own that house. So those people aren't going to sell. They're making more money renting out their house and having some. So if rates go down to 3%, it's going to open up more transactions for people selling who are stuck in owning their home. So you'll have all of that inventory open up, the inventory that was done up through 2021, which will create, more of a buying frenzy. But also you got, BlackRock and these guys stepping into the mortgage space. I mean, to the real estate space.
Right.
There has to be regulation on them. They shouldn't be. The American Trump wants people, the Americans, to own their home.
Right.
So he has to not let big hedge funds buy up all the real estate.
Right.
That's just fair,
I agree.
because we can't compete with them. Nobody can compete with a $20 billion company.
Purchased by Vanguard or State
Yeah,
Street
and they'll
or
just like, we'll
BlackRock.
just hold this for 10 years and make $0
Right.
and just write it off. How could you compete with that?
Let's say somebody wants to become an LO loan officer or open their own office, become a broker. How would they go about getting a hold of you, and what would that process look like?
Well, they got to get their mortgage license. They definitely have to have experience, and they have to have an entrepreneurial mindset. If you don't have an entrepreneurial mindset, it's not a good model.
Mhm.
You're better off working for one of the big box companies like Loan Depot or Rocket. We are in the business of creating businesses. So if they want to get a hold of me, my email, joe@emortgagecapital.com. I'm always available. Like, I respond. I'm like a ninja with responses. But go to the website, emortgagecapital.com, and they could apply directly to become a branch. Or, I'm going to now kick off a weekly webinar that they could find every Wednesday at 11 a.m. that just goes through the platform.
I love it.
That's starting tomorrow.
Awesome. Good
Yeah.
timing. Joseph Shalaby, so glad you're on the show. emortgagecapital.com. You can check them out there. Thanks for watching the show. I'm Marshall Sylver. Check us out again on Marshall Sylver Live on all the normal channels. See you soon. Hey there, moguls. It's me, Marshall Sylver, your personal millionaire maker. Getting very excited about my brand new show coming up 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. I'm going to broadcast live to you. I'm going to give you content, information, emotional, mental, physical, and even spiritual power. I'll also invite some of my cool multi-millionaire and billionaire friends onto the show to give you more direction, more advice for having it all. All the knowledge to get everything you want and so much more. All you got to do is log in to the show to get information coming to you live from the bunker right here at Studio Money. So stay tuned.